It's the time to get down.
Whatever divine providence there was in front of me to open those doors, I should give them their props. There would still be people misconstruing
Right.
how I am and what my personality is, had it not been for a very observant. I mean, we're talking about the mid-50s here.
Right.
Now,
right.
how many nuns do you know, or how many people do you know that could listen to 70 seconds of a kid tapping a pencil and notice that he had changed the time signature 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when she heard that, I think, just now, I think it was God's Spirit that moved in her to tell me to get my books and made her confront the principal at that time.
right.
I mean, that there was certainly nothing I did. I was just being me.
How old, Phil? How old?
8, you told me?
Yeah, I think either 7 or 8. 7 when I started, and 8 in the middle of the year.
And you were
Wow.
singing Mass in Latin? And
Yeah, I was doing Gregorian chants and black masses in Latin, and I mean, but the ear thing really took over. But she would bust me too when I would go to the mixed chorus with the older kids, because the older kids were really reading the music.
Right.
And once I read the music, because she always played it once. Well, when she was playing it while everybody else was talking, I was kind of looking at the music and listening to her play it. So when it got time for everybody to sing, everybody else was reading. I wasn't reading. And she would say, "Why aren't you reading the music?" I said, "Sister, I don't need to. I know where it's going unless you change it. I heard what you played. I don't."
Now that's a special. That's what they talk about, the special gifts, right, Phil?
Savant.
Yeah, why would you make me want to read this if I already heard it and know it? Wouldn't you want me to hear other things that are going on while you're playing this?
Wow.
And kids like that are easily bored in school.
Right, because they're way ahead of
they're
everybody.
way ahead.
Yeah.
Our son, Philip II, is very much like his dad. Just
Wow.
picked up a guitar, started playing it, picked up a bass. Gerald Beasley gave him a bass. And I'm telling you, the boys if we can just get him out
But
there.
not just picking up guitar and playing it. Picking up guitar and learning to play Bahian sambas without ever having a lesson. Learning to play Brazilian closed note guitar chords when you're first learning to play.
Wow. Wow.
So that means that with it between his ears, he already hears all the notes.
Right.
He's just trying to find them on the guitar.
And he can
but he
remember
hears them all already.
And our daughter's the same way.
Paloma, she has
She's
chops
awesome.
too.
She can do Mariah Carey.
Serious
she can
chops.
do any of them.
Serious
Wow.
chops.
But
Incredible.
maybe
Wow.
that's why they ran from the business when they saw what it takes, you know.
Well, that's the whole thing. You've been in it so long. Well, how did you get started with actually professional?
Well, when I was a member of the Montclairs, we did talent shows. You have to remember now, the Montclairs existed when I was in junior high school.
How you guys were just
We were kids.
we were just
literally.
kids trying to sing,
Right.
And who were you? Because Motown. Now we almost the same. We roughly around not too far in different age. Phil, Motown hadn't happened yet, so a whole bunch of black consciousness as it evolved into music really didn't exist.
Yeah, but there were still those elemental voices that seemed to find their way through, like Eddie Holman,
Yeah, hey there, Lonely Girl,
Right.
everybody, Eddie Holman,
Little Anthony,
Little Anthony, and the Imperials, you guys, yes,
right?
yes.
And a host of other groups in
Yes.
that era. So it was there for you to ingest if you were interested in it. Now, if you're interested in it, you have to get on the internet. But if you get on the internet, you can find a whole world of the music that you like. Commercial radio never gave its audience that opportunity.
Right.
Never.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, today is so different. So the Montclair started in junior high. They
Yep.
were just the fellas. Did you sing
We
underneath
would
the
go.
lampposts?
We would go and do talent shows, man.
Wow.
Okay. And one of the talent shows that we entered in, we won, and the prize was to get the opportunity to go to the studio and record a song.
Wow.
So I wrote a song.
Which song was that? Which one was that?
It was Hey You. It came out in 1969. And I was surprised at how much airplay. When you're riding in the car with your parents and you ask them to turn the radio on, and they turn the radio on and they get to hear their son. Even in an environment like East St. Louis, that was,
phenomenal.
well, first of all, they didn't understand the process because neither of them are musically inclined. So just the fact that they turned the radio on and could hear Hey You and know that I was sitting in the back seat and that was me singing gave them a source of pride and fear that a teenage kid knows nothing about.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
And fear, yeah, because that's true.
Because it's East St. Louis. The only musician that they really knew was Miles.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Okay? And they didn't want that kind of a future for their son. But that's the only future they saw because that was the only professional musician.
Music had a
they
bad
knew.
rap. Music back then, it
Of
really
course
did. It had a bad rap.
And
Yeah.
great musicians from the city, man. Miles, Leon Thomas,
oh yeah.
Oliver Nelson. In the dance world, Catherine Dunham. People that changed what they did and changed the way the world looked at choreography and music. That was the music lineage that I had to come behind. And I recognized that as a kid.
Any of those people that you sang with back in the talent show days, will we know of any of those that went on to you run into?
I'm the only one still in the industry.
Wow.
None of
Wow.
the other groups.
Wow.
And you know,
Well, Gwen.
Wow.
yeah. Now, Mar, I got to get my little one question in here because,
Yes.
when you're like 15, 16, and they say, here's the music you are going to perform to,
Right?
but here's the music you go out and your girlfriend or whatever goes crazy over,
Right,
the one that's
right.
on the other side.
Right?
Who influenced you from the entertainment point of view? The ones when you were young and you said, I'm going to see him, her, them, or whatever, because they were like the rebellion.
I think my first influences were the singer. My mother was into crooners, see. Big band crooners and crooners of the late 40s, mid 40s, and early 50s. So I listened to a lot of Johnny Hartman,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Eckstein, Arthur Prysock,
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
Mathis.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay?
Yep.
But see, the magic and one of the things that lured me into the industry, Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Mama could put on a Nat King Cole record and in 20 seconds be dancing with a broom.
I love that.
Now, when you're a kid and you see that, you observe that your mother's environment is being transformed by someone you can't see.
Love it.
And I thought to myself, I wonder, can I learn how to do that? I wonder, can I learn how to be good enough at what I do to transform people from the environments they're in to the ones they want to be in?
And you finally got the answer to that, didn't you? Because I can testify right now. Yes, brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And yes.
Now,
And
if you're going to choose a life work, I say this to the younger singers all the time. And Lily will tell y'all, we do a lot of cruises. And the younger cats that are coming up behind, they have so many questions. And I never thought that the younger generation would hear where I was coming from. You know what I mean?
yes,
And so now they're asking me questions like, well, Mr. Perry, if it was you and you were doing, how would you, if we're confronted with this, what should we? And I try to keep it real with them. I said, nothing replaces hard work. If you don't love it, get out of it. Because if you don't love it, that means you're working. And you get tired of work.
You know what, Phil? You've always been honest, poignant, right to the point. I remember sitting at that bar asking you why you weren't getting more play. You told me, industry kind of hard on fat, balding guys.
Right.
I remember I just laughed because I was so impressed. But you didn't, and that wasn't said to me in a jaded way. And look how that was a long time. It didn't stop Phil from working
Yeah.
his butt off, and he continued to work his butt off. That's one thing you've always meant is hard work and meticulous attention to your craft.
The difference between the people that make it and the people that don't is the people that don't, somewhere along the line, lost their thirst for exhaustion in the living of their dream.
Say that again, Phil. You got to say that one more time.
No, I'm
That's
Can you remember?
you guys. Can you remember that? Because that's the point. You all along. He's been giving y'all pearls.
You know what I mean,
The
though?
whole
I mean,
broadcast. Yes.
But when you
Yes.
think about when I was coming up, when we were all
Yes.
coming up, when we were coming up in the 50s and 60s, it was a big deal for Nat Cole to have a television show.
We were all there. First
Okay.
black man, right, to have a regularly.
And I'm talking about a very big deal.
That's right.
In the line of communication history in North America, that was a milestone.
That's right.
People
That's right.
think about and justifiably so. They look at Bill Cosby as the black grandfather of television, and justifiably so. But he wasn't the first one
That's right.
with his own show.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and we're talking the early 60s. Very difficult to find sponsorship then. I mean, the challenges that were ahead of that he met head on,
They used to lighten him up.
man, it was
They used
staggering.
all of that stuff he had to put.
It was
There was something in
staggering.
the 50s too, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was-
Sammy or someone in.
Well,
yeah,
I
it
think
wasn't-
Sammy did have a bit of a variety
Let's-
show at the late 50s, early 60s.
But that was the first one to have, because historically, he was the first African American to have a regular, whatever syndicated,
Yep.
variety show. I believe it was half an hour show.
And
Yeah.
so now we
Yeah, I think
fast
so.
forward now to the digital age. And the work ethic that it took for that to occur then is very hard to find in society now.
Right. Right.
The
People don't
commitment to
study.
dedication
That's right.
that took to occur, you don't see a lot of now. It's not that it's sad, it's just the younger generation hasn't grown into it.
Right.
We like to think of ourselves as human beings, as intelligent beings. If the truth be told, we grow into our intelligence.
That was actually, I think, we're supposed to, every week we have a slogan of the week.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, and
I like that.
there's different ones, and it was oh hell.
Do the pig one. You see, he got one he follows. Whenever he falls out of his slogan, he goes back to his pig.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I call it
It-
the
it comes
pig.
by
He'll
different-
know it's not what you think. It's
No,
little-
it must be a little section of particular quotes that
Yes.
were significant
Yes.
and meaningful to him that he logged in a particular place in his computer.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He,
Yeah,
he's got it.
it didn't come up. I looked over there to my note, and it
And
wasn't
you know what?
there.
Let me. While you're looking, I got to ask this because I always say, who was, and I'm gonna relate this here. I think you can get it. Who was the
there
Michael
it
Jackson of your time? There's always that one individual who's out for us.
The
you know,
Michael Jackson of my time.
your time. That one individual.
Michael Jackson.
Probably Michael Jackson.
Right?
It was Michael Jackson.
Can we not? Phil time is only our time.
God
The
rest his
time
soul.
before is maybe Sammy,
Miss him. We miss him.
Yeah,
but
See?
or Nat.
yeah.
That's it.
Here's that quote, Vic. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself.
Okay, that's a good one. It's
That
not-
was a quote that had been sent over to me.
That's right. It was. It
and
was.
it's an interesting
It was.
perspective. But what it does is it puts it to, like Phil said,
Yeah.
going after your craft, working hard at it,
Yeah.
doing it for years and years.
And
Oh.
Phil knew that this was what he was born to do. See,
Yeah,
some people are still searching when they're 25, 30, 30.
Yes.
Why am I here? He always knew it was about singing and writing songs because that's the only thing that could get inside of his head. He couldn't get into a 9 to 5 or a...
No, it's not just that, though. What she's saying is certainly true, but music was the only thing that made me feel